Mm-hmm.
So checking in with self, I do checkup and tune-ups with myself weekly. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? I need X, Y, and Z. Okay, is that a need? Is it a want? I go through it so quickly because I now have a muscle for it. But I think we should do it more often. In the morning, what do I need? Wait, I need quiet time for myself. Okay, let's get up a little bit earlier tomorrow and get it. If it's 5 minutes, let's get it. Get
Yeah.
what you need. So, no, I don't think we need to talk about being selfish at all. It's all about self interest, and nobody else is going to take care of us the way we're going to take care of ourselves.
Mm. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Today, you get to hear a conversation that I had with Raquel Eatmon. Raquel is a TV anchor, she's a speaker and author, and just has devoted a great deal of her life to helping others be better. She is the CEO of Rising Media LLC, which is a leadership consulting company. She's also an author, the founder of the Women of Power Conference, and as I mentioned, a former television news anchor. So she's had a full and amazing career, and she's a communication catalyst, right? Catalyst for good conversations. And she has a backstory, which you'll get to hear about, built on resiliency, bold risk taking, multiple generations, and just wholeheartedness, right? Really being authentic, and you'll get to hear her heart. So thank you all so much for joining, and enjoy. Well, Raquel, thank you so much for joining today's podcast. I am really looking forward to our conversation about authenticity and power and just spending time with ourselves. And I was thinking about this morning. I think the first time we met was at the conference. We were at a women's conference, and I think we were both by the registration table and realized we were both speakers. And there weren't that many women of color speakers. So we're like, oh, okay, you're speaking too. We had this really great conversation. And I remember bonding over the fact that we both brought our own makeup in our bags. They had a makeup artist on site for all the speakers. It was a green room. It was a really nice setup. But I think we either both had the experience or the knowledge that sometimes they don't have your shades. So I remember
Sometimes they don't.
sometimes they don't. So I remember us saying, "Oh yeah, we definitely brought our own shades of makeup." Now their makeup artist ended up being fire. It was amazing, but we didn't know that. And so I
Yes.
remember that conversation, and it's just been so fun watching your journey from there through all the different things you've been able to do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to learning from you in this conversation for sure.
Well, thank you. I do remember that it was a highlight of that event because it was a chance to bond over something that I think other women of color have bonded over. Like, do you see your shade in that lineup? But you're right.
Exactly.
She ended up being fire. I thought she was fantastic
Mhm.
with how she delivered, and I'm so glad that we kept in touch. And you may not know, but I remember we had a short conversation, and I just wanted feedback on, hey, I'm sort of pivoting like everybody else in the world is, and I could use some feedback. And you gave such powerful questions in a short amount of time. And I
Yeah.
still have those questions and I still use them. So
Aw.
there was a reason more than just the makeup shade that we needed to connect, my dear. So
Yes.
you have been wonderful and have given that wonderment to a lot of people. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That makes me happy. I guess to start, I was thinking about you've done so many different things in your career, in your life. Like, how do you introduce yourselves to others? Like, what do you think is most important for us or for others to know about yourself when you introduce yourself to others?
Well, the resume says a lot, the business card says a lot, but if I really want to connect instantly, I just go within with what really matters. And I have such an affinity for women, but to understand where that comes from, it really comes from being raised by three fantastic women, and they taught me a lot, and then I had to learn the rest, right?
Mhm.
We didn't talk about leadership in my house, but they were in fact leading without even understanding that this is what it was called.
Mm.
They called it doing what you have to do to survive. So that's really important for me to say. This is where I come from, and
Mm.
then now if I take everything that I do,
Yeah.
I I work hard to make the lives of other people a little bit better today.
Hmm.
So all of the training and development, everything that I do, it's all about taking incremental steps and seeing how I can make an impact by making things better for you today. And then we'll do it again tomorrow. Right. So that's really important to me.
Ooh, I love that. And I like the idea of getting to the heart of what's unique about us or about you. Like, yeah, I can see how that's easier to connect with people than, to your point, the resume of things that we've done that lots of people have probably done as well. I love that. Can you share just like how you started your entrepreneurial journey? What inspired your recent pivot? Just tell us a little bit about what entrepreneurship means to you and how that got started.
Yes, absolutely. So I grew up thinking and knowing and believing that I'm going to be a journalist. I'm going to be a television journalist. And my great grandfather would watch the evening news and he would say to me, you know, you could do that. You really could do that. So it was very natural for me to go to college for journalism, to get into the business. And the moment I walked through the door in Dayton, Ohio, WDTN,
Mm.
I said, I've made a mistake.
Mm.
I don't know where that came from. And I said, oh, Raquel, you're afraid. You're just scared at the moment. So let's figure this out. And I realized what was happening is in the meeting, everything was about terror, destruction.
Mm.
If it bleeds, it leads. It was all of that. And I thought that's not why I got into the news business. But I stayed for another decade, made my way to CBS in Dallas. I moved up very quickly. I was passionate about what I was doing. I just never developed a thick skin for telling people the worst thing that happened in their world overnight. I
Mm.
just didn't. And I tried. So I left the industry and I started my own communications company called Rising Media.
Mhm.
Now, then comes COVID. My business didn't transform well into virtual. So there was something else I needed to do. And I'm like talking to my husband, like, this is wild. What's next? I don't get it. So
Mhm.
as the pandemic was happening, a lot of restaurants in our area was closing down because that's the first thing people stopped doing was going out.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking this is the perfect time to go into the hospitality industry.
Okay, Raquel, say more about it. It seems like the
This is the
non-perfect
perfect time.
time.
My life works better when I go into the fire.
Mm.
It just does. It does, because this fear thing, I minimize fear by going into the one thing that I fear often.
Mm.
So I don't have a lot of head trash dealing with fear anymore. I mean, you have to be a risk taker in order to be an entrepreneur, I believe.
Yeah.
So for me, it was about taking those steps, taking those steps, taking those steps. The biggest step was leaving that journalism career where I thought I wanted to take it to CNN or Good Morning America. I thought that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it was different. Life was different. Something else was calling me. So to take that big step and not really have a backup plan, my husband to this day says, you never told me you were actually quitting. I thought I told you.
I didn't mention that.
I didn't mention it was time to go. So this pandemic is doing its thing, and my husband and I are talking, and sure enough, there is a restaurant that's dying on the vine, and my husband's a part of this conversation, and comes home and he says, hey, I think we could do this. And it was in such bad shape that I said no, that I'll never do it. I'll never do that. And then a month later, I'm in it. And we had to clean a lot of things up. We had to terminate a full team and start over. And neither of us had a hospitality industry experience. So I got into the hospitality industry. And at first, I thought it was all about the guest, all about the food. And once I started to develop the customer or the guest experience, and train and develop the staff to meet those expectations, I realized this job is all about training and developing staff. That is what this is, who happens to bring really delicious food to the table. Again, going right into the fire. I am a woman of color. I am not Italian, but it is an Italian boutique, fine dining, white tablecloth restaurant. So that's it. And I did not see this coming, didn't really want it, but it seemed like something to do that could, one, employ people, and two, make people just feel good.
What does going in mean to you, and how do we do that? Like, what is that to you, and how do we go about that?
So I call it going home. So my home is the only place in the world, like my physical home, this is the only place in the world I can control. And there's a lot of places and spaces in the world, but here I can control, the temperature of the home. I can control how quiet, how loud, it is, what it smells like, what it feels like when I walk through the door. So there's all of these things that I love about being at home. And when I'm traveling, I can take home is really here. And I heard a saying many, many, many years ago, home is where you make it. And I thought, how could that be when everything that you love is at your home? But taking a piece of that, that excitement, that excellence, that calmness, all of those things is really within. There's a word that I think we all use without really understanding what it is, and that's enjoy, ENJOY, enjoy. And I look at it as INJOY. So the joy is in. That's where it starts for me. And I think, especially for a lot of our younger people, they're looking for joy externally, and you never get it. It's so artificial that it's almost hurtful to think of, that it's manufactured in a way, which means you can't sustain it. But if we look at it both like an internal piece of joyfulness, now I got this joy, it's with me, this is going within, this is home, this is going home, this is being at home. And that's where joy starts for me. When I started the restaurant, I did not know what I did not know. And I pretended. And it's a little confusing to me about the fake it until you make it versus the imposter syndrome. So I'm just going to say I was 100% the imposter. All right. So during the day, I'm going in pretending that I know exactly how to run this business. I've got, 3 male chefs in the kitchen that's been there probably 40 years combined. And, you got to pretend past that chef window.
Yeah.
I have servers and bartenders who know way more about it than I know. So going home, studying at night, reading everything, there was no time to go to business school. And I don't even know that I would have gone to business school, but there was just no time but I'm just doing all of this work. And one day I walked in, had on one of my favorite suits. I thought I was looking pretty good. And I was going into our bathrooms, and there's double doors. So I went through the first door, and I overheard 2 of the servers talking. One of them said, God, Raquel is such a bee. And it wasn't brilliant. It wasn't bold or brave.
Right.
And I'm like, ooh, ouch. And the other one, she gives her 2 cents. So I opened the second door, and of course they were shocked. And I couldn't say anything because the first thing I wanted to do was cry. And the second thing I wanted to do was curse. So I'm saying, let's not do either one of these right now. So they picked up the emotion and left. And I got into the stall. I stood there. And I don't know what happened, but I started taking deep breaths, just really deep breaths. And I reached into my pocket. I had a Post-it note and an ink pen, which from the journalism days, I always have that on me, right? So I just kept breathing, and I just started writing questions. What are you feeling? What's going on? Where are you? And that "where are you" was like, oh, I'm lost. I'm pretending to be something and someone that I'm not. So the word pause came to mind. Pause. Then there was a shift. So it was like this PS thing it was almost like something else was guiding me. And I would like to think it was my 7-year-old self who was like, you were made for this moment. Yeah. But I said, you have not been doing what you do well. Like everything from your television days, everything from your consulting business, take and pull all of it, all of the advice from your grandmothers, take and pull the stuff, work on that stuff, figure out the rest of the stuff, or hire somebody to do the rest of the stuff. Just go and be you. So I tell you, Arlene, when I started writing, I still have those notes. I wish I had brought it with me. I still have those notes. I interview people very well. I can take this to the table. I can talk to my guests and speak to them. I have great eye contact. I'm relatable. You have to be relatable in order to get people to trust you as you're feeding them. You know how to do this. You know how to train and develop a staff that doesn't like you, that doesn't know you. Who cares? So what? Go for it. You know how to talk to men that might seem like a different type of leader than what you're used to. The things that you need to know, ask one of these guys. They'll be happy to help you. It turned the business around. More importantly, it turned me around. So all of these wonderful things started to come out of that. And the people that could not take my coaching, they just gradually left or got another job. And then new people came in. So that thing of always betting on yourself, it is so true. And for me, betting on self means honoring self. And if you're in a culture where you have to pretend to be someone else, or you feel like you have to, it doesn't mean that you have to leave, but you do have to go back and look at values, principles. What can I bring to the table that no one else can bring right now? Use that story, use everything that you have, and the rest will just fall into place. Learning the profit and loss, learning all of the systems that we needed to put in place, all of that will come. But for now, you got to survive. So that was a really big lesson for me. And there's been others, but that was a really like 1-2 punch in the gut. And I'm so glad that it happened.
Yeah. Because it sounds like that, because I think we've probably all heard that kind of fake it till you make it. And it's tempting when you're in new spaces or new levels of responsibility, or, to acknowledge or admit what you don't know can be really vulnerable, and maybe you can almost feel like it's not the right thing to do. But it sounds like your experience is against that idea of fake it. Like you would recommend not doing the fake it till you make it kind of an approach. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would. And I think that, vulnerability that, Brene Brown talked about, I think it's a lovely conversation to have. And I just remember the look on one of the chefs' face when I said, you know how to do this better than me. I need your help. Could you show me how?
Yeah.
And there's nothing in my head that's saying I'm your boss, but I need your help. It's no, you know how to do this better than I do. And I really need your help. And he helped for a long time. Of course, he was tasting every drink I was making, but
that's another issue. That's another topic. But when you were saying that, like when you finally said that to the chef, the other thing I was thinking is most of the time, if someone really knows what they're doing and they know it better than we do, they probably already knew we didn't know. That fake it till you make it probably doesn't work, because the people that really know you're faking it. Like they could probably pick up on that. So that's probably another reason it just doesn't work. It's hard if someone else really, like someone comes into a space that well and they're faking it, it doesn't take long for you to be like, wait a minute, they don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Arlene doesn't know what she's doing right now. So yeah, it probably doesn't work actually. When you say that.
I don't think it works well.
Yeah, it
So
probably doesn't in most places. Um, okay, that's very helpful. It's very helpful. I know sometimes when we talk about honoring ourselves or being authentic, there are a couple things that can come up. I feel like one thing that can come up for people is honoring yourself can maybe feel selfish. I don't know, like self-honor, I'm honoring myself. Um, can you go too far with that? Like, how do you think about that in terms of just can you go too far with that? Can that be selfish? Like, what do you think about that in general?
I want to eradicate the word selfish.
Mm,
I've looked at this as a society, we've just like beat ourselves over the head with it.
mhm,
To answer the question directly, you can never pour into you too much.
mm,
And instead of using the word selfish, I use the word self interest.
mhm,
So, checking in with self, I do checkup and tune ups with myself weekly. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? I need X, Y, and Z. Okay, is that a need? Is it a want? I go through it so quickly because I now have a muscle for it. But I think we should do it more often. In the morning, what do I need? Wait, I need quiet time for myself. Okay, let's get up a little bit earlier tomorrow and get it. If it's 5 minutes,
mm.
let's get it. Get
Yeah.
what you need. So, no, I don't think we need to talk about being selfish at all. It's all about self interest, and nobody else is going to take care of us the way we're going to take care of ourselves.
Mhm.
And,
So,
here's another thing that might help all of us. Um,
mhm,
I don't think that an incredible life just happens. I think we have to have intention
mm,
in order to gravitate toward that or to, or to attract that in. There's a wonderful book. I'm reading it for the seventh time, Good to Great.
wow.
And it was given to me by a news director when I was in Dallas. And he wrote in the book, it may seem like a business book, but this is really about self-management,
Mm,
to sum up his words. And at the time, I didn't understand, like, what, this makes no sense to me. I'm working for a major business. I don't understand any of this. So over time, I've read it over and over and over. And the author and his research team, they studied about 11 companies, businesses, and tried to figure out what made these companies go from good to being great. And this was over a decade or so of just research. And one of the companies was Walgreens, a
mhm,
place where I think most Americans have ventured in at one point. They wanted to turn it in not to just a drugstore, but a convenience store. And there was just all of these little incremental steps that the CEO went through. And everyone sort of followed uh, through with what they were supposed to do within this company. And they didn't know how great it was going to become. Suddenly, Walgreens were like two or three in one neighborhood. They were all over the place.
yeah.
So they wanted to make everything convenient for everyone, that there was walkability,
Mhm,
different hours for drive through, all of those things. One of the things that made that company so great was resilience, because it failed at a lot of the things it was trying to do before it got to that main step. There were a lot of small steps that didn't work, and then
mm,
a lot of other steps to repeat that. And I'm like, that is so like life.
yeah.
It's so like life. So you talk about adaptability and how this company started to just sort of change and go with what was changing. Certainly, vulnerable communities, public transportation started to be pulled from some of those spaces. Well, let's make it walkable. Let's have a little smaller drive through or walk through for people. So there was all of that, and now it's changing again.
Yeah.
But it's so much like how life truly is for us. And in that book, I want to share this with listeners and the viewers. I pulled these questions. Um, there was a lot of questions that these good to great companies would ask itself over and over and over and over. And some of these questions, Arlene, I think you had some of these questions when you and I talked. I
Mm,
think those questions and finding the answers to those questions is what really can help us stay in an honor code with ourselves.
okay.
So one of them, am I in alignment with my purpose, the work that I'm doing?
Mm.
2, am I questioning and answering the brutal facts of what I need to change?
Mm.
And the brutal facts, like that story of the lady saying, I'm being inauthentic if I don't contribute. Really, what you're saying is, what, you don't want to speak up because of what? What's the brutal truth of that?
Mm.
And that's when we really start to kick our own self in the tail, right? Like, girl, you're going to have to change this if you want to elevate in that position.
Right.
3, am I in integrity with myself and others? For me, integrity means showing up, doing what I said I was going to do. And when I drop the ball, apologize and keep moving. Try not to give excuses, because nobody really wants to hear the excuse. The thing is, you didn't show up,
Yeah.
4, the people-pleasing complex. This is something that I've worked on with some of my clients, that people-pleasing behavior. Do I spend a lot of energy trying to motivate and inspire people? Or is my work infectious?
Mm.
And see, that was that imposter piece for me, trying to motivate and inspire. And my work wasn't infectious. So let the work speak for itself.
Mm.
And I think when we figure out how to do those things, life gets a lot easier, and we'll start to find time to do the other things that we need to do for that self-interest piece.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just a couple of things that I think we can look at as we go into this new phase of living a truly remarkable and incredible life.
Welcome to Anelra. Have you ever thought about unlocking the full potential of yourself or the leaders in your organization? Imagine the impact of executive coaching. Ready to transform your leadership impact? Visit us at www.anelratalent.com. Anelra, coaching solutions that work. Okay, so I like to do a lightning round at the end.
Okay, I'm ready.
Just quick questions, quick answers, just so people get to know you better. What legacy do you hope to leave behind?
So I don't think about legacy at all. I think about destiny. I think I'm just made up that way to really see the impact that I'm able to make while I'm here. Like I'm really one of those people, like, I'm good with you giving me my flowers now. I'm really good at that.
Yes.
I don't really know what's happening after all of this. So I want to see it all come to fruition while I can. And if I'm talking about helping to make people's lives a bit better today, I want to see that today or hear about it the next day. So I really think about destiny, and that might sound self-interest.
Which is not selfish, we've learned. So there's
yes, exactly. Yes. I want to see that and be able to sit back at 105 or whatever it is. It's like, that was really cool. That was really a great conversation that we had. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Any kind of final words before we get ready to close out?
I just really want to see us all living a life that we love, that we dream about, because it's doable. So I think these incremental steps, a little bit every day, takes the pressure and the anxiety off of trying to be it all right now. And I want people to relax a little bit and enjoy the ride. The journey is a part of it. It's a part of it. And we're always on the journey. I'm a lifelong learner, so we're always on the journey. But I just want people to really fall in love with themselves and say, hey, you know what? I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay, especially our younger women and our young men who are facing a lot of loneliness, a lot of challenges there. So I am just, I'm just excited about where we are and having these conversations. Thank you so much for building a platform to have these safe conversations that will be here. Speaking of legacy, like this will be here forever for people to have a constant connection in a way. So thank you for building this. It means a lot.
Yeah, thank you for joining. And I love those words. And yeah, I definitely want my daughter and all the young people I love to hear this conversation because I think the point around being authentic, honoring ourselves, being intentional about knowing who we are and being
Yeah.
able to take care of our own needs and interests is like that's it. I mean, there's so much in that that brings so much joy for ourselves and honestly those around us too. So
Yeah, it
thank
really
you for
does.
sharing. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing and thank you for joining.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Yes.
having me. Thank
Of
you.
course, of course. So thank you all so much for joining today's conversation. As always, if you're not in my email group, you can click join the crew in the show notes or use the QR code after. We'll have all of Raquel's information in there as well, so you can connect with her. You can always find me on Instagram at Arlene_Pace_Green. And if no one has told you today, we want you to know we love you. We are so, so proud of you. You are killing the game, and we're going to keep killing it without killing ourselves in the process. Thank you all for joining and be well. Thanks for listening to the Work Well, Live Well podcast. If you're ready to grow as a leader or as an organization, head to enelratalent.com. That's ENELRA talent.com to learn how we can support you. Like what you heard? Follow or review the show so you don't miss what's next.